Okay, next I'd like to get into some of the theory or pedagogy behind the website. So, I've been teaching students for a long time, mainly helping them prepare to go to university in America or other English-speaking countries. And while dealing or working with students, they would often come to me and ask me how they could improve their listening because they really wanted to watch American TV shows or American movies. And at the time, I was thinking, what you guys need is scaffolded listening activities that are fairly short so that you can understand the situation, know the vocabulary before you listen, and then it will be much easier for you to kind of listen to the videos and understand the situations and pick up on the language. So the pedagogy behind this website is very similar to the sort of extensive reading model and the use of graded readers that we use for improving students' reading skills. And tied to that, I like to keep in mind Krashen's theories on second language acquisition. So I just want to go through those three concepts in a little more detail. Related to the extensive reading model, when students are trying to improve their reading, there's kind of two models that they can focus on. One is intensive reading, and the other is extensive reading. Extensive reading is the idea of maximizing comprehensible input, so massive amounts of language at a level that's suitable for the student. So they're just maximizing their exposure to the language. And so this website was initially designed with that same idea in mind. So similar to the extensive reading model, here the listening should be for pleasure. So hopefully the videos are enjoyable, something they're interested in. The users should choose what they want to listen to. And so if you look at this website, there are many, many different types of activities. And if you're focused just on the TV and movies, for example, there's even many different TV shows or movies that students can choose from. So hopefully they can find something they're interested in. And again, the emphasis is on quantity, so maximizing input rather than difficulty. So trying to find something that's level appropriate and then maximizing your exposure to that language. And in my experience, this also, using this website, if the students get interested in the videos, it also tends to lead them to watching the full series, maybe on Netflix or Disney or whatever streaming app they have. And again, that helps reinforce that idea of maximizing input. So then the second idea is the relation to graded readers. Now, graded readers are these books designed to help lower level students gain access to reading material. The key thing about these things is they're graded, which means it's not the actual, obviously in this case, Frankenstein, it's not the full version of Frankenstein. It's a much shorter, simplified version of the book. And these books come in levels. So for this series, this is the Oxford Bookworm series, there's 6 levels. Similar on this website, the listening activities are graded. So the easy TV activities are not exactly natural, authentic language. They're a little bit easier. The vocabulary and structures are a bit simpler. And they're in levels, easy TV levels 1 to 3. And then the TV and movies, that's getting closer to authentic material. And on this website, levels 4 to 6. So you can see they're leveled, they're graded, they go from very easy to very natural English. A lot of the, especially TV and movies, are focused on or use a lot of sitcoms, because in sitcoms, the language tends to be a little bit simpler, and most importantly, the situations are quite obvious. So it's easy for students to understand the situation and get into the language. All of the videos are between 3 and 5 minutes, so they're edited. So it's just one, each video is just following one storyline. So they're not having to keep track of many different situations going on in the same video. And in a lot of the videos, even what's been uploaded onto YouTube has been slowed down, usually by about 10%. And then also the user can control the speed because YouTube has those speed controls. Third aspect I want to get into is just the ideas of second language acquisition, kind of based on Krashen's theories on second language acquisition. So as I've already mentioned, the idea here is to maximize comprehensible input. So hopefully students are using this on a daily basis, listening all the time, and they can find something that's level appropriate. There's no use of L1, meaning the student's native language. Some of the instructions are in Spanish and Korean, but the activities themselves are all completely in English. So there's no code switching involved in using the activities. And again, the emphasis is on listening and comprehension, not so much on grammar and structures and things like that. Okay, let's take a closer look at the 4 different types of activities on the website. Now, 3 of them are focused on what I call listening fluency. So let's look at the first one, Easy TV. And we'll look at an activity from this series, American English File. So this one's called In the New York Office. And I just want to play maybe 20 seconds so you can get a sense of the level.
Well, I think that's everything. What do you think of the office?
It's brilliant and much bigger than our place in London.
Oh, here's Barbara. Rob, this is Barbara, the editor of the magazine.
It's good to finally meet you, Rob.
It's great to be here.
Is this your first time in New York?
No, I came here when I was 18, but only for a few days.
Okay, so if you listen to the video, you can see that the language is natural, but it's still graded. It's a little bit simpler and clearer than if you were watching just a regular American or British TV program. And same as what we saw before, there's many different types of activities here. They can preview the vocabulary, and as you can see in this video, there's almost no difficult vocabulary. They can see the background of the video, the characters, and the situation. There's some comprehension questions, and there's the script, and then there's a series of other different types of language activities. Let's go to another one, TV and movies. Let's have a look at Modern Family, Manny's Online Date. Same idea. You can see this video is about 4 minutes long.
Oh, so handsome.
Thank you.
Manny, are you wearing aftershave?
Yeah.
And again, this video just follows a very short story about Manny meeting a girl who he met on an online book club. And same idea, vocabulary, background questions, a bunch of language activities, as well as discussion questions and the script. And then the third one I want to look at is academic. Let's have a look at the nuclear energy debate. Obviously, the level on this is a little bit higher, and this one's a video. Some of them are just podcasts or just audio. The same idea, we have the vocabulary here, though you can see because this is a much more difficult activity, there's a lot more vocabulary to preview. And again, you can hide the words, you can hide the definitions, and then you can check things like things that are very easy to show through images are on here. And same idea, comprehension questions, some discussion questions, the script is there, and some language activities, in this case, summary activity. So those are the 3 activities that are focused on fluency. And then the last thing I want to do is show the skills, which is more focused on listening accuracy. So 2 main types here. One are these listen and draw type activities. So if we give an example, this is actually quite different from the other activities. This is a picture, a simple picture, this one using just geometric shapes. And the idea is that students or users can listen to a description of the picture before they look at the picture.
This is a picture of 2 vertical rectangles side by side. In the middle of the rectangle on the left, there is a small square.
So users can listen to this description. They can, as they're listening, they can try to draw, and then when they're finished, they can check to see if their picture matches what the person described. And I call this listening accuracy because it gives you immediate feedback on whether you understood every sentence and basically every word in the activity exactly. And as you can imagine, this also really focuses on things like prepositions and articles. So sometimes there's activities related to that. And of course, there's the script. The other skills activity are these ones, which are called reductions. And this is focused on the relaxed pronunciation. So these things like, instead of native speakers saying, I don't know, they say,
I don't know.
or rather than
I
saying,
don't know what to do.
thank you, Ben. Or rather than saying, you know,
You know. You know, I'm pretty hungry.
or maybe the most common one.
Wanna. I want to see a movie.
So this is the preview. Students can again preview the relaxed pronunciation or the reductions that are going to be in the conversation. So this is the preview. Students can preview all of the relaxed pronunciation or the reductions that are going to be in the conversation. Then they can listen to the conversation.
You will hear the conversation 3 times.
And Sarah will want to play her guitar.
All right. She just started taking lessons. There's some simple comprehension questions that they can check their understanding with. But the most important part here is when they're listening to the video, or sorry, when they're listening to the audio, they can fill in the missing language parts, which are precisely focused on these reduced sounds. And this is important for listening accuracy because students are listening, usually listening for something like going to or want to or I don't know. But native speakers don't naturally use these when they're speaking. So you're training listeners to listen for the relaxed or the reduced sounds so that they know when they hear, I don't know, that means I don't know.